I'm Mickeeley.
Hello, I'm Xavier.
And welcome back to Steeped in Lore, where we sip tea, spill stories, and steep ourselves in the legends whispered through the mountains. Today, we're talking about a mysterious little mineral found deep in the mountains, wrapped in magic, legend, and tears. They're called fairy crosses, and some say that if you find one, you're being protected by ancient spirits. Today, we are both sipping on a cup of the Honey Lavender Stress Relief by Yogi.
Yummy.
Yeah.
It tastes really good.
It does. Especially when you add the local honey, which our honey actually comes from beekeepers in Asheville. So it just makes it even more magical. And I feel like honey lavender and fairies just go hand in hand.
I wonder if fairies like honey.
I would say so. Who doesn't like honey? Honey actually has I don't even remember if it's 90 or 100 minerals and vitamins that we need, but I know it's really good for you.
Guess that's why bears stay so strong.
Yeah, I know, right?
Winnie the Pooh.
Anyway, are you ready to talk about fairies, magic stones, and maybe a few ancient tears?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's get it started.
Cool. So do you know anything about the fairy crosses? Have you ever heard of it?
This is the first time hearing it.
First time. Okay. Do you have any guesses as to what the fairy crosses are? Because I'll tell you right now, I had never heard of fairy crosses, but it's not what I expected at all.
Is it crosses made from fairies, or are they magical?
Well, I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so we'll start with the science because these are actual things. So here's what they really are according to science. Fairy crosses are called, I am probably going to butcher this if y'all have not realized by now. I am awful at pronouncing names, but staurolite crystals. So apparently they are a rare mineral that forms deep in the earth under intense pressure and heat. And they're usually found in very old rocks. Mm-hmm. So, at one point when I was researching this, I saw where these fairy crosses, the staurolite crystals, can only be found in 5 places in the entire world. So pretty cool. Pretty cool.
So I think Appalachian.
Yeah. So usually, you can find them in eastern United States, Virginia. There's a state park in Virginia I think it's literally called Fairy Cross State Park. And I think they even sell, fairy crosses, and they turn them into, keychains, necklaces, different things. But Virginia, Georgia, probably, if they're in Virginia and North Carolina, you could probably find them. If they're in Virginia and Georgia, you could probably find them in North Carolina, just different parts throughout the Appalachian. But they really do look kind of cool because they're shaped like crosses. Mm-hmm. Now, some of them are perfect crosses, some are crooked, and some are more shaped like X's. But supposedly, they are pretty rare.
Where can I get one? I just want to have it on a necklace.
Well, the state park, according to the state park's website, the one in Virginia, the Fairy Cross one, mm-hmm. They sell them there. But I'm sure you get on Etsy or somewhere and find them.
So does it have some type of mystical power or something?
Well,
am I gonna grow wings?
If you would grow wings by wearing them, I'm pretty sure I would have 1,000 of them by now. But no, but for real, there were famous people Woodrow Wilson, Thomas Edison, and Theodore Roosevelt, which actually Theodore Roosevelt is going to come up in our next story as well. But all 3 of them and others kept those as good luck charms. And even still today, people will carry these in their pockets or wear them on necklaces because they truly believe that they are for protection and good luck charms. And Some families even have them and pass them down from generation to generation. And I don't know. I think that's so cool.
Well, can I buy me one so I can win the lottery? Doesn't work that way?
I don't think it works that way. I wish, but I don't think it works that way. Okay, so yeah. So it is like an actual stone. Like, these are real things that you can go find. But there's different legends of these stones. And I'm just going to tell you all three. And then, you can choose one. I have one that I lean more towards, but you'll see. So, these are linked to very sad stories, but it's like beautiful and sad and magical all at the same time. So one legend says that when the Cherokee people were forced to walk the Trail of Tears, that their grief was so deep, obviously, because they are having to leave their homes. They're leaving everything that they know, and they're basically being forced out of their homes by invaders, essentially. And so, obviously, that is the very gut-wrenching side of things. And as they're forced to pack their stuff and leave and walk away from the place that they've known for their entire life, obviously, I am so sure that there were men, women, and children all crying. And so the legend says that their tears fell into the earth and that those tears crystallized into tiny stone crosses. So when you find a fairy cross, you're holding grief and survival in your hand. So this is a symbol of sorrow, but it's also a symbol of strength. And I would even go one step further and say that it's a symbol of resilience, because even today, like, there is such a huge push and comeback for not just the Cherokee, but Native Americans in general, Native peoples in general. And I think that the fairy crosses can symbolize and be a very good reminder of that part of the history,
It's a really sad theory.
Yeah. But, I mean, it was true. The Cherokee were forced to leave, and that is just really fucking shitty. But that's the first legend, and I would 100% believe that. Like, I think that has a big part of it, like the grief of the Cherokee people. Now, there's another one. So that one was, it was about the Cherokee, but there wasn't really any fairies involved in it. So this next one is actually about, like, it includes the fairies and the Cherokee. So another version of the first legend that is even more magical, because it's said that the fairies once danced across the Appalachian Mountains, and they would play in the woods. They would help guide the Cherokee children safely home when they had been lost. Mm-hmm. And the Cherokee referred to these fairies as little people. And the Cherokee saw these fairies, these little people, as protectors. They were just these joyful, gentle, magical little beings where the Cherokee and the fairies coexisted and lived in harmony together. Now, this is the one that I choose to believe, because that just sounds like something that I would have, like, daydreamed of as a little girl, just, like, dancing in the mountains and the forests and the meadows with fairies. And I think, like, a lot of stories, like, if you get into, like, folklore and legends and, like, Scotland and Ireland, a lot of what they describe fairies as is kind of like these, like, vicious people.
So
I don't know.
Hurt you?
Yeah.
Fairies will hurt you?
Yeah, like in Scotland and Ireland, I mean, obviously I haven't, like, done a whole lot of research, but just, like, some of the stuff I've seen is that they believed that, like, the fairies would, like, swap out their children, like, changelings, like, to the extent, like, not, I don't think this happens anymore, but, I mean, obviously, hopefully it doesn't happen anymore, but, like, 1600s, if they believed that their baby had been swapped by the fairies, and that they had a changeling baby, they would just, like, take it into the forest and leave the baby. Because they didn't believe that it was a human baby anymore. They thought it was a fairy.
That's pretty awful.
Yeah.
That's sad.
It is. But I choose to believe that fairies are these joyful, gentle, magical little creatures that coexist with humans. And, like, not to go off on a whole tangent about fairies, but I genuinely believe that, and I think I talked about this earlier, or maybe it was, like, the Brown Mountain episode, I talked about, like, how they could potentially, like, live in the earth. And I think it's because they're scared of humans. Like, if this is true, if the Cherokees and the fairies did coexist together, right, which I am choosing to believe, then the fairies would have obviously seen how the Cherokee were treated because they were different. You know what I mean? Like, when the white people forced the Cherokee to leave their home, the fairies were probably like, oh, okay, we're next. Like, we're very obviously different. We're very small. They could, like, probably step on us and squash us. Like, we have to figure out a way to survive. And instead of, like, choosing to leave, they chose to go underground. Again, just...
Is that one of the theories?
I mean, that's just me extending this theory. Like, if the legend that the Cherokee people say is that they coexisted, then I think it makes sense that when the Cherokee were forced to leave, the fairies just kind of, like, went underground and hid. Because they're also small. Like, if fairies are, like, I don't know, 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inches big, it's a lot easier to hide in little nooks and crannies than it would be for, like, a human.
So you're saying those little shape crosses are actual fairies?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Oh.
Well, okay, let's just go back to the fairy folklore, okay?
Okay.
So, the fairies and the Cherokee, they're living together, they're coexisting together. So, when the Cherokees are forced to leave, mm-hmm. and the fairies stay behind,
oh, okay.
the fairies are grieving.
Oh, they're grieving.
Yeah, the fairies are crying. Their friends have been forced away. I mean, imagine if, like, government came in and, like, made half of our friends, like, pack their stuff and just move 1,000 miles away. Like, that would be very upsetting. And so this legend says that as the fairies wept, when their tears fell to the earth, their tears formed the fairy crosses.
Oh, so the fairy tears.
Yeah. So the first legend says that the tears of the Cherokee turned to crosses. The second legend is the fairies' tears turned to crosses. Which I believe this one, and I'm not saying that the Cherokee didn't cry, because obviously, yes, I 100% believe they did. But because they're called fairy crosses, I think it makes sense that the fairies' tears turned into crosses. And that was like a reminder of the devastation that happened. You know what I mean?
So if these were fairy tears, so these crosses have, like, magical powers?
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, that's what
Protection?
people say. People say that they're good for protection and they're good luck charms.
I need to get me one.
Yeah. So, some say that the crosses are the actual remains of the fairies themselves that are left behind to protect the land. So, again, variations. I think that the fairies, when they pass, turning into crosses as, like, a way to protect the land, I think that is, like, so profound. Like, that just, like, makes me want to cry, because that just is, like, wow.
That's pretty sad.
Yeah. So if I found a fairy cross, I would 100% keep it. 100%.
And then you win the lottery.
Probably not. Okay, now the third one, I don't believe this third one, but I did see it in multiple places, so I'm going to share it here. Maybe you believe it. I am not dissing if this is the one you choose to believe or not. It's just another legend. So this one kind of blends the Appalachian folklore with Christianity. So in this version, the fairies were playing. It was like sunny outside. The fairies are all out. They're living their best life, you know, flying through the meadows, when a little tiny elfin messenger arrived with the heartbreaking news that Jesus Christ had died on the cross. And so when this tiny messenger shared that news, it said that the fairies stopped dancing and they fell silent and they began to weep. And just like before, as the fairies are crying and grieving the death of Jesus, their tears hardened into stone, forming the tiny crosses.
That's... wow.
Yeah, so that's that legend, and it said that the earth mourned with the fairies, and so between the earth mourning and the fairies crying, that's kind of where the crosses come from.
So that's how the crosses were formed, because they were grieving about Jesus' death?
Yeah, which, I mean, I could see why people would say that, but I feel like that theory just...
doesn't sound too convincing, huh?
No, because how do I say this? I just feel like the Cherokee were here first, right? The Native Americans were here first, and their legend to me has more stock. Like, when was the Christian legend first told about? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. The Bible doesn't say anything about fairies that I'm aware of. I am choosing to believe that when the Cherokee left, the Cherokee's tears or the fairy tears.
So you believe the first theory is...
Yeah.
It's why those...
Yeah, I think really
formed?
like a blend. I think between the devastation with the fairies and the Cherokee losing their home and losing their friends, I am believing that's the...
I think I'll go with the first theory.
With the Cherokee tears?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. The Cherokee, you know, they had been in that area. I mean, they still are to this day, but I don't know. It just feels like they were here first, you know? It's just a way of, like, Earth honoring them and honoring all of the shit that they've been through.
Yeah, they worship their Earth, and they're very...
they live in harmony with the Earth,
in harmony.
Yeah. So, going back to the actual fairy crosses themselves, across the Appalachia, people believe that the fairy crosses are protective talisman, meaning that they bring good luck, that they ward off harm, and like I said earlier at the beginning, a lot of families that have them will pass them down generation to generation. And this is really cool. Some people would keep them above their doorway. So, you know, like how above our door I have the selenite crystal for cleansing and purifying the energy. Some people put the fairy crosses above their doorway, not as a way to, like, cleanse, but as a way to protect.
Protect from what?
From, like, negative spirits. Negative people's energy that we don't want coming into our homes.
Bad jujus heading your way?
Yeah, spirits, demons, I don't know. I mean, protection is ward off harm from anything. So, some people put them above their doorways. Other people, I don't really know if I would like this, but other people sew them into baby blankets, which, like, I love the idea of it, but I also could just see, like, a child, like, hitting themselves in the head with their blanket on accident. So, I don't know that I would.
How do you sew crystal into a blanket?
No, like, so when you have a blanket, it's not, like, just, like, one, I don't know what the terminology is. Like, it's not just, like, one sheet of linen or fabric. A lot of times, it's, like, two that are, like, sewn together.
Oh.
Like, front and back. Or, I mean, even if they, like, weave them, maybe they wove them in.
You could use that blanket as a weapon.
But I guess, actually, baby blankets do. I don't know, maybe they just, like, fold it over. Because now that I'm thinking, like, the ones you get at, like, Walmart are just one piece. I don't know.
Well, you don't want that baby to put a crystal in his mouth.
Maybe they just fold over the corner and like sew it in that way. Regardless, it's to protect the baby. And then some people will also wear them as pendants, like a necklace close to their heart, to protect and ward off danger, evil. So overall, they're seen as symbols of guidance, grief, magic, and resilience, all packed into one tiny stone.
Well, like I said, I might need to get one.
So, I think what makes fairy crosses so special is that they live at this like intersection of science and magic. Like, yeah, we have the science that tell us what it is, but at the same time, we have the legends and the magics that just makes it even more special. You know, like, yeah, they're formed under geological pressure, but they're also reminders of the people we've lost, of the spirits that still watch over the mountains, of the fairies who never stopped protecting us. And maybe holding one is like holding a little piece of a story. And that story just keeps going as long as we keep telling it.
So can you actually go and find them yourselves, or are they?
Yeah.
Oh, they have them at the stores already.
No, I mean, you can do both. Like, the place in Virginia, you can, like, go, they have, like, sections that are, like, hot spots. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're not guaranteed to find one, but there are people who go and find them, like, regularly. Like, you can't go and, like, commercially dig them.
Oh, okay.
But, like, if we wanted to go, it's, like, I think almost 3 hours away. You could drive up, look around. Some people say that they are found more often around the roots of the trees, but yeah, you can go find them, but then they also sell them like in the office.
So can you only find them in this area in Virginia? Just
Virginia, Georgia,
okay.
Like basically from Georgia up to Georgia up to Virginia, mainly in eastern United States. Yeah. So,
well, this was the first time this is the first time I heard about these stones.
Yeah. So that's the tale of the fairy crosses, small stones with deep magic. So if you've ever found one, send us a picture, tag us in a picture on Instagram. If your family keeps one tucked away in a drawer or in a locket, or if you carry one on your keychains, I would love to hear about it, especially if you have a story of, you know, it protecting you in some way or warding off something. That would be so cool. So if you do have a story, if you have an image, you can tag us in your picture or send us the picture through our email, SteepedinLorePodcast@gmail.com, and maybe your story will be shared in a future episode.
Well, I do think that these stones might have some type of power.
Yeah.
So, you know, possibilities are endless.
I believe that every stone... Here's my thing. Every stone, every crystal, every gemstone, every plant, everything on this earth has a vibration, right? And so I also believe that when we as a collective believe in something, it comes true. Like Slender Man started as like a Photoshop, and now it's like something realistic. that people spot sightings of. So to me, if we can as a collective make new cryptids come real, like come true, come whatever, then why can't the same be said for imbuing stones, crystals, gems with powers?
So basically, people manifest Slenderman and became real.
Yeah, essentially. Like, I'm not saying that these are like gonna protect you and you're gonna be immortal, but I do think that enough people see that they're good luck charms that they protect. I don't know. I think that it wouldn't hurt to have one for sure.
No, we should definitely get a few.
Yeah. So until next time, sip something warm, stay curious, and remember, the mountains remember everything. And sometimes the earth holds on to our tears.